Looks like the mayor of Los Angeles is at the scene where Don Lemon is expected, the courthouse, where he's expected to come out.
Well, can you? I think you get me to move back a little bit. I just have to say, after leaving the court proceedings, I am very glad that our renowned, esteemed reporter Don Lemon will be released on his own recognizance because he should not have been in court anyway. How far is this going to go? We're 155 days away from celebrating the 250th anniversary of our democracy that has been under attack every day since this administration took over. I am not a lawyer, but I will tell you to listen to this court proceedings that made no sense at all. What they described as his crime, from my perspective, a layperson's perspective, was the work of a reporter. He went into the church along with the protesters. He covered the story. He listened to what the people said who were in the church. That is his crime. It made no sense to me. And frankly, if I were the administration, if I were the other side, I would be embarrassed by that court proceeding that actually wanted to limit his movements so he could not go anywhere except for Minnesota to New York. A journalist who travels the country. So we have seen protesters under attack. We have seen people being snatched off our street. And now all of you are at risk. And this is just unacceptable. This assault on our democracy has got to end. And you, all journalists, play such a critical role. And I just want you to know, and I think I could speak on behalf of this crowd, we are all going to fight every day for your ability to tell the truth, for your ability to cover this story and any other story. We have to draw the line in the sand and say we will not allow for the dismantling of our democracy. Thank you very much. Thank you. He is, I consider him a journalist. What all of the journalists here would do who want to cover a story.
Hmm. I don't know. I don't know why that just went off, but let me figure that out. That was strange. That was very, very, very strange. I don't know why that just went off. I'll find another feed in a second. Just bear with me. I don't know whether that's a commercial or what. Who the heck knows? But that was, of course, Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass outside the Los Angeles courthouse where everybody is waiting for Don Lemon to emerge. Um, and he should be coming out pretty soon because in LA they're starting to wrap up the day out there a little bit, about at 3 o'clock. Um, Obviously, Eastern Standard Time is what I'm on, but of course they're 3 hours behind. I have no idea why that feed went down, but I don't know. It did. Probably just ended because it's been on for hours. At any rate, that was Karen Bass. That was Karen Bass, the mayor of Los Angeles, with some pretty heated remarks. And that's not to be that's to be expected after everything that has happened with Don Lemon. Everybody's pretty shocked at the situation. There's been a ton of live feeds on with regard to what's going on, and it is a situation that is shocking to a lot of people. It represents the interference of freedom of the press. People are reading that immediately. Um, and that is something that is a scary escalation by the Trump regime. It shouldn't be a big surprise to anybody that they tried to, in some way, take down Don Lemon because Don Lemon, of course, is critical of them and they hate the fact that he's got millions of people watching and he will continue to have millions of people watching. This is what it is. His show is on right now. I think, Monique Presley continues to anchor. Um, and, let me just take a look at that actually. Let's take a look at what's going on with Monique Presley and them continuing to anchor. So, okay, that you see the mayor has gone away. At any rate, the, situation at, the courthouse is that everybody's waiting for Don Lemon to come out. And of course, his husband has been seen going in, and there's been other people who've been seen going in. There's a lot going on around that situation, and we're just now starting to see the court documents come out. I'm kind of not really wanting to read them because I know it's going to be complete nonsense. Because that's just what it is. I mean, they're going to figure out a way to do what they did with Tish James and James Comey, where it's just like, let's just put anything out there and, hope that nobody notices the details. I mean, that is how the Trump regime rolls. Let's hope that nobody really reads anything, and so I don't know if they're going to continue to well, what's going to happen is a court, judge is going to throw their stuff out. I mean, it's as simple as that. Incidentally, Don Lemon's attorney is Abby Lowell, which is a really high-powered attorney. You can bet that this is going to go well for Don Lemon. In fact, I think it's probably going to amplify him even more than he's already been amplified. I think they're doing him a major PR favor because these are babies and bullies that we're dealing with. They don't have the emotional intelligence to figure out that by doing this, they're actually elevating Don Lemon. That's what they're doing. So, they are very foolish, and, it is just an insane clown posse situation over at that White House. On top of everything else, more Epstein files were revealed, more details were revealed, and that was just an absolute meltdown. It was gonna cause another meltdown of the President of the United States. You can absolutely believe that, he is gonna melt down even further than he's already melting down, and, absolutely guaranteed. It's a situation where there's a lot going on, that, would indicate an escalation of by this administration, completely unsurprising escalation. By this administration, that is the Georgia fort. On the screen is the Free Georgia Fort shirt that I designed 30 minutes ago because I was mad. I do have a Don Lemon one, and both of the ones will be, in the actually, probably not in the description of this video. I'll have to put them in there. And, you know, so at any rate, this will be a situation where people will be waiting for Don to come out and see what he has to say. It's a crazy situation that he's in where the administration is targeting him. They have no business targeting him, and this has no business happening in the United States of America. Hopefully, the Republican Party will wake up to that at some point. Nobody knows when that point's going to be. It is insane that the Republicans just refuse to take any action on anything. They are totally in lockstep still with Donald Trump. It's really sad to watch. It continues and it will continue. You do not see the Republicans questioning Donald Trump very often. They may, in fact, there's certain red lines, though, and there's certain moments that you see where you say, well, they wouldn't want that happening to to journalists on the right. But really, I don't think they're going to speak out on behalf of Don Lemon at all. Megyn Kelly's not going to speak out on behalf of Don Lemon because none of these people have any principle. It's all about Don. It's all about Donald Trump. It's all about allegiance to Donald Trump. Um, and that's just what it is. It has nothing to do with anything other than that, and there's no ideological anything going on. It's just, we're trying to just sort of do whatever the heck the president tells us to do. Okay, I think I found another feed that makes sense. And of course, I think the feed that I was on has just been up so long. It's been hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, and everybody's been waiting. And like I said, I do think that Don will come out at some point. You could hear when Mayor Bass was speaking, you hear some woman screaming in the background, which this happens at every stakeout. You get somebody that decides, I want this to be about me. I don't want this to be about anybody else. I want this be about me and my whatever. So they start screaming the second that the press conference starts. It's It's a very prevalent thing at these stakeouts. It's just somebody that decides, I'm going to start screaming and making noise just as the press conference gets underway. That's exactly what happened. You could faintly hear her in the back of Mayor Bass. I don't really think anybody cared because you could really hear, the person who's talking to the mic is what is going to be heard. But at any rate, there was somebody screaming, sounding ridiculous in the background on that last feed. Oh man, and there's just a lot going on here. We do have an Epstein's file situation. We have a snowstorm hitting North Carolina. I mean, we got so many things happening in the news today, which, again, when Donald Trump is around, he's the captain of chaos. He wants people paying attention to him, and he will do anything to get it. And all this activity that you see from this administration, so much of it is narcissistically driven. It is just a person who just cannot stand the fact that somebody else might be getting attention, whether it's Barack Obama or whoever the heck it is. So, at some point, the day is going to come when we're not going to have to put up with this anymore, either because of an election or something else. But that day, I think, I think people are really tired of Trump's routine. You can see it in the polling. They're tired of it. And that's why he's now trying to steal elections. And now all of a sudden, Fulton County's ballots are getting raided and all this other nonsense because, yeah, I got to control everything. I got to figure out how to control everything. And that's just really, sort of how it goes with this president. Control. It's all about control and controlling everything. Very, very ridiculous situation. This is gonna be a short live because I'm going to come back. I'm probably not going to stay live. I'm going to come back when Don comes out and find a feed that is appropriate to do that with. Yes, Bruce Springsteen does have an anti-ice song for Minneapolis. Bruce Springsteen, the incredible songwriter and singer, came up with a Minneapolis song. I mean, it's just unbelievable. It is amazing when you think about the lack of artists that we see writing music based on the times that we live in from a political standpoint, but Bruce Springsteen did it in like a week. It was like a week after Alex Preddy was killed by ICE, shot to death in the street on camera, which everything is on camera with these cell phones. But there were two people, of course, Renee Good and Alex Preddy, who've been shot dead by ICE. Incredible situation. Um, so there does seem to be a little bit of movement outside the courthouse, but it's hard to tell whether or not. Let me just turn the volume up. At some point he'll come out. I'm sure he'll come out with an attorney, and then there'll be a little bit of a statement. You can expect that there could be a statement. One of the things about fooling around with Don Lemon, I think, is a gigantic mistake by this administration, is you're fooling around with somebody who understands the media, understands how things play, understands, how to, present to the media. He's really good at it, and I think they're particularly stupid for targeting him, but, this is a big mistake by them. It's just gonna backfire like crazy. I do actually think that there will be some people on the right who will say, "Wow, this is now starting to get," because, they imagine, "Wait a minute, this could be us if this is a, Democrat, president out there decides, 'Hey, I think I wanna mess around with the press on the right.'" I mean, what does that look like? Hey, right, they don't wanna know what that looks like. So, that's a gigantic mistake, try to get into that situation. At any rate, I suspect he'll come out at some point. I do wanna sort of watch Roland Martin at 6 o'clock, and I think Joy Reid is on as well. Be nice to watch their shows while we're waiting. I wish I could watch them through the feed that I have. I have to watch them sort of on a separate screen here. And yes, so Roland is on, and I don't think I don't think that Joy is on, which actually makes sense because Joy Reid has been live like all day. And I don't know that she's due at 6 o'clock on Friday. I think her schedule is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but again, there's a lot going on today. There's a ton of news going on, and also on top of everything else, there's some weather news going on. I mean, it's just an incredible situation. So many things happening. The Roland Martin is on, one of the other independent journalists out there. Independent journalism is now a huge threat to this administration, a huge, huge threat. People who are independently speaking without the encumbrance of corporate entities controlling what they're doing is a threat to people who are liars, who don't like to tell the truth. And they understand that. They understand that this is a situation where, corporate media can kind of control things in the background, and they can't do that as much anymore. And they hate it, absolutely hate it. And now they're trying to take down anything that they can't control. And that included Twitter, it's included TikTok, CBS. I think CNN will be soon to get hit, and of course ABC a little bit. I mean, they sued ABC, but they're trying to threaten and bully and control the information. That is the whole ball game. And that ain't that ain't gonna happen on any independent platform. I'm always expecting something happen with Google and YouTube. It hasn't happened yet. They've stood the course, and we'll see how it goes. But this is Lauren Berg, this is Lauren Live. As I play the outro, yes, you will notice that Don Lemon comes up right away. He is in the intro and outro of this show. There is no official affiliation. I'm just a big fan of Don Lemon. And I'd run into him twice, and I used those clips of me just chatting with him in the intro and outro of this show. It's interesting because I do have Roland Martin a little later in the outro, and Roland Martin, I'm on his show. I've never been on Don's show. I've been on Roland's show a ton of times. And so, I think both of those guys are fantastic. Big fan of both of them. And, Don Lemon, as you can see in the clip you're about to see, is a very just affable, friendly dude, very nice guy. And I've dealt with him in a professional capacity as well. He's just a very easygoing guy. He's very smart too. And so anyway, this is Lauren Berg. This is Lauren Live. I'll be back when Don comes out. That should be pretty soon. It is 3:16 in Los Angeles, California. I'm on the East Coast, and it's 6:16 p.m. in Virginia on the East Coast. So I'll be back soon. But anyway, the outro, you will see Don, and it's just an amazing little coincidence.
Somewhere. What's going on? Thank you. Are you watching now?
Yeah. No, I was watching when I left, but it's excellent. I love it. I love the traffic's flowing up. You were in Brooklyn last night. Where?
I was in Bushwick.
Okay, my grandmother's house is in Crown Heights.
Oh, yeah.
So when I saw you, I was trying to look at what the pizza place was to see where
As soon as we got there, someone recognized the pizza place. They're like, we got to get out of here. Someone had
get out. It was great.
blown up our spot.
This show is freaking fantastic.
Thank you.
Love it. Love it, man. Love it.